Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked past someone and pretended not to see them? Someone sitting on the street corner, maybe. Someone who looked like they needed help. We've all done it, haven't we? We tell ourselves we're in a hurry. We tell ourselves someone else will help. We tell ourselves it's not our responsibility. But what if I told you that one man's decision to stop, to really see someone, would change 3 lives forever? This is a story about a freezing November night in Detroit. About a single father, a paralyzed young woman, and a little girl who needed a mother. It's about the 3 words that can change everything. Come with me. It was 11:47 at night, and Marcus Bennett was tired. The kind of tired that settles deep in your bones when you've been a single parent for 3 years. His daughter, Lily, was home with a fever. 8 years old and burning up. The neighbor was watching her while Marcus made an emergency pharmacy run. He should have been thinking about getting home, about giving Lily her medicine, about tucking her in and making sure she could breathe through her stuffy nose. But then he saw her. Across the street from the pharmacy, there was a bus shelter, and beside it, not even on the bench, but on the cold concrete ground, was a young woman. She was maybe 25, with natural hair that looked like it hadn't been combed in days. She was slumped against the shelter wall, and Marcus could see from where he stood that she was in a wheelchair. Something in his chest tightened. He looked at his truck, still running. He looked at the medicine bag in his hand. He looked at his watch. Then he looked back at the woman, and he crossed the street. "Miss, are you all right?" His voice cut through the November wind. The woman lifted her head slowly. Her brown face was gaunt, tired in a way that went beyond physical exhaustion. But her eyes held something that made Marcus's heart break a little. It was the look of someone who'd learned not to expect help. "I'm fine," she said, her voice hoarse. "Just waiting." Marcus glanced at the bus schedule posted on the shelter. The last bus had left over an hour ago. "It's almost midnight," he said gently. "The buses stopped running at 10. "I know." She tried to shift position and winced. I don't have anywhere else to go right now." Those words hung in the cold air between them. Marcus's hand went instinctively to his pocket, feeling the outline of Lily's medicine. He should go. Any reasonable person would go. His daughter was waiting, but something kept his feet planted on that freezing sidewalk. "How long have you been out here?" The woman hesitated. "Since yesterday." Since yesterday. The words hit Marcus like a punch to the gut. This young woman had been sleeping on concrete for over 30 hours. In November, in Detroit, and the world had just walked past her. Marcus found himself crouching down, getting to her level. His knees protested against the cold pavement. "What's your name?" "Elena," she said after a pause. "Elena Martinez." "I'm Marcus. Marcus Bennett." As he stood up, running his hand over his head, a nervous habit he'd never broken, his wallet slipped from his pocket. A photo fluttered to the ground before he could catch it. Elena was surprisingly quick. She reached for it, and for a moment she just stared. It was Marcus's favorite picture. Him and Lily at the father-daughter dance last year, both of them grinning at the camera, wearing matching sashes over their formal clothes. "You have a daughter?" Elena asked, and something in her voice softened. "Lily. She's 8. Thinks she knows everything about everything." Marcus couldn't help but smile, the way he always did when he talked about his little girl. Then, before he could stop himself, he added, "Lost her mom 3 years back. It's just us now." He didn't know why he said it. He usually kept that information close, protected, but something about this moment, this woman alone in the dark, made the truth slip out. Elena handed the photo back carefully, like it was precious. She's beautiful. She has your smile. She has her mother's everything else, Marcus said quietly, tucking the photo away. And then, before his brain could catch up with his heart, before logic could tell him all the reasons this was a bad idea, he said it. Come with me. Elena looked up at him, confusion crossing her tired face. What? Come with me, Marcus repeated, more firmly this time. It's supposed to drop below freezing tonight. There's a cold front coming through. You can't stay here. I can't pay you or anything, Elena said quickly. I don't need charity. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering a warm place for the night. Marcus glanced at his watch again, thinking of Lily waiting. My daughter's sick. I need to get home with her medicine. And I can't. His voice cracked slightly. I can't leave knowing you're spending another night on concrete. I just can't. You don't even know me. Elena's voice was defensive now, protective. I could be dangerous. You're not, Marcus said simply. Dangerous people don't worry about being dangerous. Elena stared at him for a long moment. She was searching his face for something. Maybe sincerity. Maybe threat. Maybe just trying to understand why a stranger would stop on a cold night for someone the world had made invisible. Finally, she asked the question that mattered most. Why? Why do you care? Marcus could have lied, could have given some easy answer about being a good person or civic duty. But looking at this young woman who'd been forgotten for 2 days straight, he told the truth. Because 3 years ago, right after my wife died, I stood in a pharmacy parking lot just like this one. I was holding Lily, completely lost. I didn't know how I was going to make it through the night, much less raise a daughter alone. He paused, remembering. An old man stopped. He saw me crying, and he said 5 words that saved me. You don't have to hurry. He stayed with me for an hour, just talking, until I could breathe again. I never even got his name. Marcus extended his hand to Elena. So I'm asking you, let me be that person for you tonight. Just tonight. Tomorrow, you can go back to managing on your own if that's what you want. But tonight, come with me. The November wind picked up, rattling the bus shelter sign. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed. The pharmacy's neon light flickered. And in that moment, Elena Martinez made a decision that would change everything. She took his hand. Getting Elena into the truck was harder than Marcus expected, but she insisted on doing as much as she could herself. He watched her transfer from the wheelchair to the passenger seat with practiced movements. Even though her exhaustion was obvious, he folded the wheelchair, heavier than he'd thought, and secured it in the truck bed. It's not far, he said, climbing into the driver's seat. About 15 minutes. Elena nodded, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Now that she'd agreed to come, the weight of trust seemed to settle on her shoulders like a physical thing. Tell me about Lily, Elena said suddenly. What's wrong with her? Fever and cough. Started yesterday morning. Got worse tonight. Marcus turned onto the main road. She's tough, though. Tougher than me most days. She tried to convince me she was fine, because she didn't want to miss school tomorrow. They're doing volcano projects. Volcanoes. A small smile crossed Elena's face. I loved those projects as a kid. Made one with my grandmother once. Baking soda and vinegar. The whole works. We added red food coloring and dish soap. The kitchen was a disaster. It was the first personal thing she'd shared. Marcus tucked it away carefully. Raised by a grandmother then. No mention of parents. They drove in silence for a few minutes. The heater finally kicked in properly, and Marcus saw Elena's shoulders slowly relax as warmth filled the truck cab. Can I ask? Marcus started, then stopped. Sorry. You don't have to answer anything. You want to know about the wheelchair, Elena said. It wasn't a question. I want to know if you're okay, Marcus corrected gently. The wheelchair is just part of it. Elena was quiet for so long that Marcus thought she wouldn't answer. Then, staring out at the passing streetlights, she began to speak. 2 years ago, construction accident. I was an electrician's apprentice. Good at it, too. She paused. There was a scaffolding collapse at the site. 3 stories. Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. The company said I violated safety protocols. I didn't, but they had better lawyers. Lost the workers' comp case. Lost everything while I was recovering. That's not right, Marcus said. A lot of things aren't right, Elena said quietly. But you learn to adapt, or you don't survive. When they pulled into Marcus's neighborhood, modest houses with small yards, porch lights creating pools of yellow in the darkness, Elena tensed again. That's my neighbor, Marcus explained, pointing to a house with the living room lights still on. She watches Lily when I have to go out. She'll probably come over tomorrow to check on us. Fair warning. She'll try to feed you. Resistance is futile. Are you sure about this? Elena asked as they pulled into his driveway. I'm sure, Marcus said firmly. The house was nothing special. A 3-bedroom ranch that needed new gutters and had a front step that creaked. But it was warm, and it was safe. And right now, that was everything. Let me check on Lily first, Marcus said, unlocking the door. Make yourself comfortable. Kitchen's through there if you're hungry. Bathroom's down the hall. He paused. Is it accessible? I mean, can you? I'll manage, Elena assured him. I've gotten good at managing. Go check on your daughter. Lily's room was dimly lit by her butterfly nightlight. Marcus could hear her breathing, still congested, but more even than before. He touched her forehead. Definitely cooler. He gave her the medicine anyway, smoothing back her braided hair. Daddy, she mumbled without opening her eyes. Right here, sweetheart. Did you get my medicine? I did. And something else too. We have a visitor who needs our help. Like when we helped that bird with a broken wing? Kind of like that. Okay, can I meet them tomorrow? If you're feeling better. Sleep now, baby. When Marcus returned to the living room, he found Elena hadn't moved from just inside the doorway. She sat there as if she was afraid to enter any further, afraid to take up too much space. I don't want to impose, she said. You're not. Are you hungry? I can heat up some soup. There's leftover chicken noodle, Zara's favorite when she's sick. Elena's stomach chose that moment to growl audibly. She flushed. Maybe a little hungry. Have you ever seen someone try not to cry over a bowl of soup? Marcus watched as Elena took her first spoonful of the reheated chicken noodle. Her eyes closed like it was a gourmet meal instead of something from a can that he'd doctored with extra vegetables. When did you last eat? He asked gently. Yesterday morning. The shelter had breakfast before my time was up. The 30-day limit, Marcus said. Elena looked surprised. You know about that? My company does volunteer work sometimes. Riverside Shelter, right? They're good people but overwhelmed. They tried to help. Gave me information about other places, but... She stopped, took another spoonful of soup. They're all full. Or they don't have wheelchair access. It doesn't matter. I've slept in worse places. It does matter, Marcus said firmly. You matter. The words seemed to break something in Elena. She set down her spoon, her hands trembling slightly. You don't understand. Nobody just helps anymore. There's always a catch. Always something they want. So what do you want? Because I need to know now, before I get comfortable, before I let myself believe. I want you to be safe tonight, Marcus said. I want you to be warm. I want you to eat until you're full and sleep without worrying about freezing or being hurt. That's all. Nobody does that for free. My wife did. Sarah would have had you inside with a blanket and hot chocolate before I even finished parking the truck. She believed in helping first, asking questions later. And you? What do you believe? Marcus thought about it carefully. I believe that we're all just trying to make it through. And sometimes on the really dark nights, we need someone to remind us that morning's coming. They sat in silence while Elena finished her soup. Then another bowl. Then a sandwich Marcus insisted on making. As she ate, she began to talk. Small things at first. How she'd been an honor student at Spelman. How she'd gotten her apprenticeship through a vocational program. How she'd been saving for her electrical engineering degree when the accident happened. I was going to be an electrical engineer, she said. Had it all planned out. Work during the day, classes at night. I was good with circuits, understanding how power flows, how to make things work. You still are, Marcus pointed out. The accident didn't change your mind. No, but try explaining that to anyone. They see the chair first. Sometimes they don't see anything else at all. It was nearly 2 in the morning when Marcus showed Elena to the spare room. It was cluttered with boxes and Lily's old toys, but the bed was clean and the heat worked. This is too much, Elena started. It's a bed and a roof. That's not too much. That's basic human decency. He paused at the door. The bathroom's right across the hall. There are clean towels in the cabinet. If you need anything. Marcus. He turned back to face her. Why did you really stop tonight? The truth. Marcus took a deep breath. You want the truth? When I saw you there, I saw every night I felt invisible after Sarah died. Every night I sat in Lily's room wondering how I was going to make it to morning. I saw someone who needed to be seen. Really seen. And I couldn't drive away from that. Elena nodded slowly, understanding passing between them. Thank you, she whispered. Get some rest. Tomorrow will figure itself out. But tomorrow came faster than expected. At 6 in the morning, Marcus woke to the sound of voices. Lily's high-pitched giggle and another voice, patient and warm. He found them in the kitchen. Lily, still in her pajamas with her hair wrapped in her sleep bonnet, sitting at the table while Elena rebraided one section that had come loose. Dad, Lily announced. Miss Elena knows how to do a fishtail braid. A real one. I can see that, Marcus said, trying to process the scene. His daughter, who usually took weeks to warm up to anyone, was chatting away like she'd known Elena forever. She's in a wheelchair, Lily informed him matter-of-factly. Like Professor X. She already told me about her accident, and I told her about Mom and Mr. Hoppy. Did you know she can fix electrical stuff? Lily, let Miss Elena breathe, Marcus said, starting the coffee maker. It's fine, Elena said, securing the braid with one of Lily's purple hair ties. She's been telling me about her volcano project. Sounds like you have a future scientist here. It's supposed to erupt today, Lily said sadly, then coughed for emphasis. But I don't think I can go to school. Definitely staying home, Marcus confirmed. I'll email your teacher. But my volcano. Real scientists don't rush their experiments, Elena said gently. We'll wait until you're better. That first day set a pattern none of them expected. Marcus called into work. He had sick days saved up, and the three of them spent the day in a strange but comfortable bubble. Elena helped Lily improve her volcano, while Marcus caught up on laundry and bills. It In a word, Marcus wouldn't let himself think too hard about normal. She's really smart, Dad, Lily whispered loudly while Elena was in the bathroom. And she doesn't talk to me like I'm a baby. I noticed, Marcus said, watching his daughter's face light up in a way it hadn't in months. That evening, while Lily napped on the couch, Elena insisted on looking at the electrical outlet in the kitchen that had been sparking. You don't have to, Marcus said. I want to. It's dangerous, especially with Lily in the house. 20 minutes later, she diagnosed and fixed the problem. A loose wire that could have started a fire. You saved us, Marcus said, impressed. You saved me first, Elena replied simply. 3 days passed. Then a week. Marcus went back to work, but Elena stayed. She helped with Lily, organized the chaos that had accumulated since Sarah's death, brought order to their disrupted life. She insisted it was temporary, just until she figured out her next move. The shelter might have space next week, she mentioned on day 10. Right, Marcus said. Or there's a program downtown. Lily would miss you, Marcus interrupted, then cleared his throat. I mean, if you left suddenly. She's gotten attached. Just Lily? The question hung unasked between them. By week 2, they had a routine. Elena would get Lily ready for school while Marcus made breakfast. They'd all eat together, like a family, though no one said that word. Marcus would drop Lily off on his way to work. Elena would spend the day applying for jobs online, making calls, fighting the bureaucracy that came with her situation. Another rejection, she said one afternoon when Marcus came home early. They say they're inclusive, but when they hear wheelchair, suddenly the position's been filled. Their loss, Marcus said firmly. You fixed 3 things in this house that I've been putting off for years. House repairs don't pay bills. They do if you're an electrician or an electrical engineer. I never finished my degree. So finish it. With what money? And how? That night, after Lily was asleep, Marcus found Elena sitting in the living room, staring at nothing. Talk to me, he said, sitting across from her. I'm scared, she admitted. I'm scared that I'm getting comfortable here. That Lily's getting attached. She stopped. That you're what? That I'm starting to feel like I belong somewhere again. And that's dangerous because this isn't mine. This isn't permanent. This is just kindness with an expiration date. Marcus moved to sit beside her on the couch. What if it didn't have to be? Listen, you're good for Lily. You're good for this house. You contribute. You help. You make things better. Why does it have to be temporary? Because that's not how the world works. People don't just take in strangers permanently. And I won't be anyone's charity case. I won't be the poor, paralyzed girl you felt sorry for. Is that what you think you are to us? Isn't it? No, Marcus said firmly. You're the woman who makes Lily laugh at breakfast. You're the person who fixed the death trap outlet, and the leaky faucet, and the squeaky door. You're the one who helps with homework and watches movies with us and makes this house feel less empty. You're Elena. Just Elena. The wheelchair is part of you, but it's not all of you. Not to us. The moments stretched between them, fragile and important. Then Lily's voice from the hallway broke it. Dad? Miss Elena? I had a bad dream. Elena moved first instinctively. Come here, little one. Lily climbed onto the couch between them, curling into Elena's side. I dreamed you left, she whispered to Elena. You went away like Mommy did. Oh, sweetheart, Elena said, her voice thick with emotion. Promise you won't leave. Elena looked at Marcus over Lily's head. He saw the war in her eyes. The desire to comfort Lily battling with the fear of making promises she couldn't keep. I promise I won't leave without saying goodbye, she finally said. "And I promise that as long as I'm here, I'll keep you safe and loved." "Okay," Lily mumbled, already falling back asleep. "Have you ever watched someone realize their home?" Marcus saw it happen to Elena in that moment. Holding Lily. Being needed. Being wanted. Being family. The look on her face said everything. She was finally home. You know what's harder than finding hope? It's holding on to it. It's believing that good things can last. That the universe won't snatch away the happiness you've just started to feel. 3 weeks had passed since that November night. 3 weeks of shared breakfasts and homework help. 3 weeks of Lily's laughter filling the house again. 3 weeks of Marcus coming home to something that felt like family. But Elena still kept her things packed. Just in case. Because people like her had learned not to get too comfortable. Good things, in her experience, always came with an expiration date. It was 4 months after that night when everything changed again. Marcus came home from work to find Elena sitting at the kitchen table, her phone in front of her, tears streaming down her face. His heart stopped. "What's wrong?" He was beside her immediately, his hand on her shoulder. Elena looked up at him, and he realized these weren't tears of sadness. They were something else entirely. "A law firm called," she managed between sobs. "About my accident." Marcus waited, his chest tight. A witness came forward. Someone who was recording at the construction site that day. She took a shaky breath. "It shows everything. That I followed every safety protocol. That the company was negligent. That everything they said about me was a lie. Elena! They want to reopen my case. They think I could get full compensation. Medical bills, back pay, even money for school." She looked up at him, vulnerable and scared. "This could change everything." "That's amazing," Marcus said. But something in his voice must have betrayed him, because Elena grabbed his hand, holding tight. "This doesn't mean I'm leaving." Marcus tried to smile. "Of course not. I mean it, Marcus. The legal stuff will take months. And even when it's done," she paused, her eyes searching his face, "you and Lily saved my life. Literally. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stopped that night. You would have survived. You're a survivor." "Maybe," Elena said. "But surviving isn't living. You reminded me what living feels like." The legal process was slow. Phone calls and meetings, documents and depositions. But hope, real hope, is a powerful thing. Elena attacked the case with the same determination she brought to everything else. Marcus drove her to meetings when she needed it. Lily colored quietly during phone calls, being as helpful as an 8-year-old could be. And through it all, they were there, present, together. Meanwhile, life continued. Lily's volcano finally erupted at school, and according to her teacher, it was the most scientifically accurate eruption in 3rd grade history. Elena taught Lily to wire a simple circuit for her next project. Marcus learned to cook something besides soup and sandwiches, with Elena directing from her chair, both of them laughing when he burned the first 3 attempts. The neighbor, Mrs. Johnson, had opinions. She always did. "About time you had help with that child," she told Marcus loudly over the fence one Saturday. "That girl needs a woman's influence. You've been giving her plenty of woman's influence, Mrs. J. Not the same, and you know it." She lowered her voice conspiratorially. "That Elena, she's good people. Got steel in her spine. And not just the medical kind." Marcus smiled. "I know. So what are you waiting for? Mrs. J. Don't Mrs. Jamie. That woman looks at you like you hung the moon. And you look at her the same way. Life's too short, Marcus. Sarah would tell you the same thing. And maybe that was true. Maybe Sarah would have been the first one pushing him forward, telling him it was okay to love again. 6 months after that November night, Elena started online courses in electrical engineering. She studied at the kitchen table while Lily did homework. Both of them focused, both of them determined, both of them working toward their futures. "You're a good influence on her," Marcus said one evening, watching them work side by side. "She's a good influence on me," Elena countered. "She makes me want to be better, to show her that setbacks don't mean giving up." Lily looked up from her math worksheet, her pencil poised in the air. "Miss Elena, when I grow up, can I be an engineer like you?" "You can be anything you want, sweetheart." "Then I want to be like you and Dad, someone who helps people." Marcus saw Elena blink back tears. He felt his own eyes sting. Because how do you tell an 8-year-old that she's already everything good in this world? That her simple words just validated every struggle, every hard day, every moment of doubt? You don't. You just love her, and you hope you're raising her right. The settlement was moving forward. Slowly but surely, Elena would have enough for her own place, her education, a fresh start. Everything she'd lost, she could get back. But the question hung in the air unspoken. What did she really want? One evening, after Lily was in bed, Elena said the words that had been building for weeks. "We need to talk." Marcus's heart sank. Those 4 words, the ones that never meant anything good. "You're leaving," he said flatly. "What? No." The opposite. Elena rolled her chair closer to where he sat on the couch. "I want to stay. But I need to know if that's what you want too. Really want. Not just allowing because you're kind." "Elena, let me finish." She took a breath, gathering courage. "I love Lily like she's my own. I love this house, this life we've built. I love—" She stopped, then pushed forward. "I love this family. But if this is just convenience for you, if I'm just a good babysitter who helps with bills, I need to know now. Before I—" Her voice cracked. "Before I let myself believe in forever." "You're not the babysitter," Marcus said quietly. "You haven't been for months." "Then what am I?" Marcus thought about all the ways to answer, all the careful words he could use. But Elena deserved the truth, the simple, raw truth. "You're the person I look for when I come home. You're the one I want to tell about my day. You're who Lily draws in her family pictures at school." He paused, his heart pounding. "You're who I'm falling in love with. Have been for a while now." The kitchen was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of a car passing outside, the whole world holding its breath. "I can't have children," Elena said suddenly. "The accident. There was damage. If you want more kids—" "I want you," Marcus interrupted. "Lily wants you. We want this family, the one we already have. I'm in a wheelchair. I snore. I can't cook. I still forget to put things back where they belong." "Elena!" Marcus moved to sit on the floor in front of her chair, taking her hands. "We all have our challenges. Your wheelchair doesn't change how I feel about you. It's part of you. And I love all of you." Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too. Both of you. So much it scares me. But Marcus, love isn't always enough." "No," he agreed. "But love and choice together? That's enough. And I choose you, Elena. I choose us. Every single day. Even on the hard days? When accessibility is a problem. When people stare. When things are difficult. Especially on the hard days," Marcus said firmly. "That's when choosing matters most." Elena leaned forward, cupping his face in her hands. "Then I choose you too. I choose this family. I choose home. And when they kissed, it felt like a promise, like the beginning of something that would last. 18 months after that cold November night, the settlement came through. The amount was substantial, enough for Elena to have real options. She could afford her own apartment, fully accessible, close to the university. She could start fresh, independent, free. They told Lily over dinner, trying to explain it carefully. Miss Elena has some money now, Marcus started. From the accident. She could get her own place if she wanted. Lily's fork clattered to her plate. Her face went pale. You're leaving, Zara. Elena started. You promised. Lily's eyes filled with tears. You promised you wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. But you also promised to keep me safe and loved. And you can't do that if you're gone. Sweetheart, I don't have to leave, Elena said quickly. I have choices now. Then choose us, Lily cried. The words came out desperate, angry, heartbroken. We chose you. Dad chose you that night at the bus stop. I chose you when you did my hair that first morning. We keep choosing you every single day. Why won't you choose us back? Marcus watched Elena's face crumble. Watched 8-year-old wisdom hit her like a physical force. Oh, Lily, Elena whispered. I do choose you. Every single day. Then stay. Lily's voice was small now, pleading. Please stay. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. Lily interrupted, her voice rising again. Love is simple. You love someone. You stay with them. Mom couldn't stay because she died. But you're not dying. You're just scared. Out of the mouths of babes, Marcus thought. His 8-year-old daughter had just said what he'd been thinking for months, but didn't know how to put into words. Elena was crying now. Really crying. You're right, she said. You're absolutely right. I am scared. I'm scared of being too much trouble, of not being enough, of taking advantage of your dad's kindness. My dad's not just kind, Lily said firmly. He loves you. I heard him telling Mrs. Johnson yesterday. Marcus flushed. Lily, it's true. Lily looked between them. And Miss Elena loves us too. So why is everyone making this so complicated? That night, after Lily had cried herself out and fallen asleep on the couch between them, Marcus and Elena sat in the gentle darkness. She's not wrong, Marcus said quietly. No, Elena agreed. She sees things clearly, the way only kids can. So what do you want to do? Elena was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was steady. Certain. I want to use the settlement money to modify the house. Make it fully accessible. No more struggling with doorways or the bathroom. I want to finish school. I want to contribute equally to this family. Bills, repairs, everything. She paused, turning to look at him. And I want to marry you. Someday. When you're ready. If you ever are. Marcus's breath caught. Elena, I know it's fast. I know we've only known each other for 18 months. But when you know, you know. And I know I want this. All of it. Forever. Marcus took her hand, lacing their fingers together. Ask me. What? Ask me to marry you. Elena's eyes widened. Marcus, ask me, he repeated softly. Because the answer is yes. It's been yes for months. I was just waiting for you to be ready. Elena laughed through her tears. Marcus Bennett, will you marry me? Yes, he said simply. Yes to forever. Yes to family. Yes to you. 2 years after that November night, their backyard was transformed. White lights were strung between the trees. Lily had made paper flowers, dozens of them, in every color imaginable. Mrs. Johnson had invited the entire neighborhood, declaring it the event of the decade. Marcus stood at the makeshift altar, his hands shaking slightly as he watched Elena come down the aisle. She wore a simple white dress and a beautiful Kent cloth head wrap that her grandmother had sent. Her chair was decorated with flowers, and the smile on her face, it could have lit up the whole world. Lily walked beside her, the official flower girl and ring bearer, as her handmade badge proclaimed. She took her job very seriously, scattering petals with dramatic flair. When Elena reached the altar, Marcus couldn't stop smiling. "Hi," he said, like an idiot. "Hi," she replied, laughing. The officiant cleared his throat. "We're gathered here today. Can I say my vows first?" Marcus interrupted. "Before I forget them?" Everyone laughed. Elena nodded, her eyes shining. Marcus took a breath. 2 years ago, I thought I was rescuing you. But the truth is, you rescued us. Lily and I, we were surviving, but we weren't living. We were going through the motions, getting by, but not really here." He paused, his voice thick with emotion. "You taught us that broken doesn't mean worthless, that different doesn't mean less than, and that sometimes the best families are the ones we find in the most unexpected ways. You brought light back into our lives. You brought hope. You brought love. And I promise to spend every day showing you what that means to me." Elena was crying now, but smiling through it. She took her turn to Marcus, who saw me when I was invisible, who offered help without conditions and love without limits, who taught me that home isn't a place, it's people. She turned to Lily, who shared her dad with me when she didn't have to, who taught me that love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, staying present, and choosing each other every single day. Back to Marcus. I choose you both, today and always, in the easy moments and the hard ones, when the world is kind and when it's not. I choose this family. I choose home. Can they kiss now? Lily stage whispered. Because I'm hungry and Mrs. Johnson made cake. The crowd erupted in laughter. You may kiss your bride, the officiant said, grinning. And when they kissed, Lily cheered loudest of all. Then she hugged them both, declaring loudly, finally, now can we have cake? The reception was everything it should be. Nothing fancy. Soul food from the neighbors. Music from Marcus's old speakers. Lily teaching everyone the electric slide. With modification she created so Elena could dance in her chair. No regrets? Marcus asked Elena as they watched Lily boss Mrs. Johnson around on the dance floor. Only one, Elena said. What? I wish I'd said yes that first night when you asked me to come with you. Would have saved us all a lot of time. No, Marcus said thoughtfully. We needed the time to choose each other over and over, to build this the right way, to know it was real. Elena leaned her head against his arm. You're right. As always. Don't let that go to my head. 5 years after that November night, Elena runs her own electrical consulting firm. The business is called Coleman Accessibility Design, and it specializes in making spaces work for everyone. Her business cards read, Elena Coleman, CEO. She loves the sound of it every single time. Marcus still works at the plant, but he doesn't take double shifts anymore. He coaches Lily's soccer team now. He's learning to bake, badly, but with enthusiasm. Last week he made cookies that Lily declared, not terrible. High praise from a 12-year-old. Lily is the star of her science class. She wants to be an engineer like her mom, or a doctor, or maybe a soccer player. She changes her mind every week, and that's okay. She has time to figure it out. Last month, she had to write an essay about heroes for school. She stood at the front of the class and read, "My hero isn't someone famous. Actually, I have two heroes. My dad, Marcus Bennett, who stops to help strangers, even when he's scared and tired. He taught me that kindness isn't just about being nice. It's about taking action when someone needs help. And my mom, Elena Coleman, who proves every day that wheelchairs can't stop someone from standing tall. She taught me that family isn't about blood or about being perfect. It's about choosing each other, especially when things get hard. 5 years ago, my dad made a choice at a bus stop that changed our lives. He chose to see someone who needed help. He chose to act. And that choice gave me my mom. Her teacher gave her an A+. But more importantly, when Elena and Marcus read it, they both cried. That night, as they tucked Lily into bed, she asked them a question that had clearly been on her mind. "Do you think Mom knows?" Marcus and Elena exchanged a glance. "Your first mom," Lily clarified. "Sarah, do you think she knows about our family now? That we're okay?" Elena answered carefully, choosing her words with love. "I think your first mom's love is part of what brought us all together. Her love for you and your dad made you both the kind of people who could open your hearts to someone new. So yes, I think she knows. And I think she's happy. So she's still part of our family," Lily said. "It wasn't a question." "Always," Marcus said firmly. "Just like you'll always be part of ours, no matter where life takes you." Lily smiled, satisfied. "Good. I love you both. We love you too, baby." After Lily fell asleep, Marcus and Elena sat on the porch, watching the stars. The same stars that had witnessed that November night 5 years ago. "Ever wonder what would have happened if you hadn't stopped?" Elena asked. Marcus was quiet for a moment. "I try not to. It hurts to think about." "I would have survived somehow," Elena said. "I always did before. But surviving isn't living." "No," Elena agreed. "You didn't just save my life that night, Marcus. You gave me a life worth living. You gave me family, purpose, love, home." "You gave us the same thing," Marcus said. "Before you, Lily and I were just going through the motions. You brought light back into this house. You brought joy. You brought hope. We saved each other," Elena said simply. "The best rescues work that way," Marcus agreed. They sat in comfortable silence, the autumn air crisp around them. October again. Their month. Their beginning. "Marcus?" "Yeah." "Thank you for stopping. For seeing me. For everything." "Elena?" "Yeah." "Thank you for saying yes. For coming with me. For staying. For choosing us." "Always," Elena said. "I'll always choose you." It started with 3 words on a cold November night. "Come with me." 3 simple words. But they meant so much more than an invitation. They meant, you're not alone. You matter. You're seen. You're worth saving. Those 3 words became a bridge. From despair to hope. From loneliness to family. From merely surviving to truly living. Because here's what I've learned from Marcus and Elena and Lily's story. Love isn't about finding perfect people. It's about finding people whose imperfections fit perfectly with yours. It's about seeing someone at their lowest point and choosing to lift them up. Not because you have to, not because you'll get something out of it, but because you can't imagine doing anything else. It's about understanding that "come with me" isn't just an invitation. It's a promise that says, your struggle is now our struggle. Your joy is now our joy. Your life is now woven into our lives. And that promise? It changes everything. So let me ask you something. The same thing I asked at the beginning. Have you ever walked past someone and pretended not to see them? We all have. But maybe, just maybe, the next time you see someone who needs help, really see them, you'll remember this story. You'll remember Marcus stopping his truck on a cold night. You'll remember Elena taking a chance on trust. You'll remember Lily opening her heart to a new mom. And maybe you'll stop. Maybe you'll see. Maybe you'll say those 3 words that can change everything. Come with me. Because sometimes, the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. Sometimes, the people who save you are the ones you thought you were saving. And sometimes, the best thing you can do in this world is simply stop and see someone who's been invisible for too long. That's the power of kindness. That's the power of choice. That's the power of love. And that's the story of how 3 words on a cold November night changed 3 lives forever. Thank you for listening. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because we all need reminders that hope is real, that love is possible, and that sometimes all it takes is one person willing to stop and say, "Come with me."